What's up guys, welcome back to another Terraria video. Today we have a beginner's guide on creating the Ink Shield. Now you guys might have seen the Ink Shield in Terraria. It is an accessory that has a lot of different buffs. It gives a base stat of 4 defense. It grants immunity to knockback and fire blocks, and also grants immunity to most debuffs, more specifically 12 debuffs. Today I'll be showing you how to craft it, as it has a difficult recipe, so there's lots of different components to it. But before we get started, if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing for more Terraria content, and let's get right into it. So to craft the Ink Shield, there are many different accessories that we need to collect. The main accessories we need are the Megaphone, the Nazar, the Bezoar, the Adhesive Bandage, the Blindfold, the Fast Clock, the Trifold Map, the Armor Polish, and the Vitamins. And then over here we also have to collect the Cobalt Shield and the Obsidian Skull. So all these accessories I just named are the base accessories. They will later be needed to craft into better accessories using the Tinker's Workshop table. So first, starting off over here to the left, is the Megaphone. It grants the immunity to silence. This accessory can be dropped by pixies, mummies, and green jellyfish. Most of these items have a really low drop chance, so don't worry if you don't get it, even after killing like hundreds of enemies. Moving on, we have the Nazar, which grants the immunity curse when you equip it. And the Nazar can be dropped by enchanted swords, cursed hammers and axes, and also like those flying skulls in the dungeon. Also to note that most of these accessories can only be gathered in hard mode, except for, I'm pretty sure, the Bazaar, which can be dropped by a hornet in pre-hard mode. Using the Megaphone and the Nazar, you can then craft this counter curse mantra, which grants both immunity to silence and curse, and you can just craft it using the Tinker's Workshop, which can be bought from the Goblin Tinkerer. Then moving on to the Bazaar, this accessory grants immunity to poison when worn, and it can be dropped by hornets in pre-hard mode, and also the moss hornets in hard mode, and also the toxic sludges. Next, we got the Adhesive Bandage, which grants immunity to bleeding, and this accessory is dropped by werewolves and armored bones. And then using these two accessories, you can craft the Medicated Bandage, which grants immunity to both the poison and bleeding debuffs, and it is also just used by the Tinker's Workshop table. Next over here we have a Blindfold, which grants immunity to the darkness debuff, and this can be dropped by Crim Slimes or Corrupt Slimes, and also the Crimson or Corruption Mummy variants. This blindfold doesn't actually need to be crafted with anything, so you can just leave it as is. Next we have Fast Clock, which grants immunity to the slow debuff, and this Fast Clock is dropped by mummies, wraiths, and pixies. Next we have the Trifold Map, which grants immunity to confusion. This map can be dropped by mummies, the giant bats in hard mode, and also the clown in the blood moon in hard mode. Then using the Fast Clock and the Trifold Map, we can craft the Plan, which just grants both immunities to the both debuffs from the Fast Clock and map. Next we have the Vitamins, which grants immunity to weakness. This accessory is dropped by the Corruptors, or I think they're called Floaty Gross. So you can find these in either the Crimson or Corruption hard mode. Next we have the Armor Polish, which is immunity to the Broken Armor debuff. And this accessory is dropped by the Blue Armored Bones enemy in the dungeon. Then using the Vitamins and the Armor Polish, we can craft the Armor Bracing. Then after collecting these 5 accessory items, the Medicated Bandage, Counter Curse Mantra, Blindfold, Armor Bracing, and the Plan, you can then come to the Tinker's Workshop and you can craft the Ankh Charm, which grants immunity to most debuffs. More specifically, I think it grants immunity to 12 different debuffs. So after crafting the Ankh Charm, to craft the Ankh Shield, we need a couple more different items. We need the Cobalt Shield and the Obsidian Skull. The Cobalt Shield can be found in the dungeon when unlocking the golden chests in there, and it could also be found pre-hard mode. Next, the Obsidian Skull is crafted using 20 obsidian blocks, which can be farmed up from placing water and lava blocks together. To farm up the obsidian, you need at least a golden or platinum pickaxe. Then you can just craft the Obsidian Skull at a furnace, and next, we craft the Obsidian Shield using the Cobalt Shield and Obsidian Skull. The Obsidian Shield itself is also not bad compared to the Ankh Shield. However, it only gives 2 defense and immunity to knockback and fire blocks. Not as impressive as the Ankh Shield with immunity to most debuffs. Next, after you have the Obsidian Shield and the Ankh Charm, all you have to do is just craft it together, and boom. There you go. Now you have an Ankh Shield. This accessory is known to be one of the better accessories in this game, even until endgame, because of its immunity to most of the debuffs in the game and knockback, which can be really helpful when fighting bosses. And also just gives a stat line of 4 defense, which could be nice. And it looks pretty good on your character too. Anyways, that's all for this beginner's guide on the Ankh Shield. If you guys enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing. And hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time.